Okay, my students, I am extremely sorry for the inconvenience. Actually, this is due to some net problem because online there is a we are having some constraint here. But I need your cooperation in this situation. Suppose you can say I am not giving any message, and in the meantime the class is getting interrupted. So you people have to take it granted. It means that there is some technical mistake and sir will reappear again. So you will just waiting for me. You will not leave the site. Just come to the point. So here you know that finally Gandhi brought a compromise formula, and then it became clear that now the Congress had to form the government. So Congress initially formed the government in 7 states, then in 8 states. Unfortunately, Muslim League could not form any in the elections. The Muslim League performed very poorly, and it could not even actually in central legislature there were the reserved Muslim seats, you know. But even on the reserved Muslim seats, the Muslim League could not get success. And in no province, Muslim League could form the government at its own, you know. Actually, in Punjab, there was the formation of the government of Unionist Party. And there the leader of Unionist Party was a Muslim leader, Sikandar Hayat Khan. But he formed a coalition government along with a Jat leader Chotu Ram and Akali leader Master Tara Singh. So there was the coalition government. Even the Congress used to give the support from outside. In case of Bengal, it was another Muslim faction, that was Krisak Praja Party of Fazlul Haq. He was leading a party of cultivators or agriculturists, you can say, the peasants, and he was leading mainly the Muslim peasants and Hindu peasants both. It was a peasants party against the Jamindars, you know. So this Krisak Praja Party formed the government in Bengal, and the Muslim League was giving support from outside. Muslim League was not the part of the government there. So Muslim League could not form the government anywhere. Muslim League was, in one sense, it performed very poorly in the elections. मतलब यहाँ पर मैंने आपको यह बताया कि 1937 के इलेक्शंस में मुस्लिम लीग का परफॉर्मेंस बहुत ही बुरा रहा. सेंट्रल लेजिस्लेचर में जो रिजर्व मुस्लिम सीट्स दिया गया था, उसमें मुस्लिम लीग वहां भी अच्छा नहीं कर सकी. और उसके अलावा जो प्रोविंस में कहे तो मुस्लिम लीग को कहीं भी गवर्नमेंट फॉर्म नहीं हुआ. मुस्लिम लीग बिल्कुल उसमें, पंजाब में एक यूनियनिस्ट पार्टी थी, वो सिकंदर हयात खान, वो मुस्लिम लीडर था, उसकी पार्टी थी. लेकिन उसके साथ छोटू राम जाट भी थे, यानी हिंदुओं के साथ मिलकर उसने बनाया था. और अकाली नेता मास्टर तारा सिंह भी थे. तो इसलिए जो सिकंदर हयात खान था, वो जिन्ना की तरह वो कम्युनलिस्ट पॉलिसी को नहीं लेकर चल सकता था, क्योंकि वो हिंदू और सिख के सहयोग पर टिका हुआ था. यहाँ बंगाल में क्या था कि जो वहां पर बंगाल में एक कृषक प्रजा पार्टी थी, जो किसानों की पार्टी थी, उसका नेता था फजलुल हक. तो फजलुल हक ने बंगाल में गवर्नमेंट बनाई, और उसमें मुस्लिम लीग का सपोर्ट था उस गवर्नमेंट को. कृषक प्रजा पार्टी को फ्रॉम आउटसाइड सपोर्ट था, परंतु मुस्लिम लीग उस गवर्नमेंट का हिस्सा नहीं था. तो मुस्लिम लीग कहीं भी सरकार नहीं बना पाई. ये स्थिति है. अब कांग्रेस मिनिस्ट्री का यू विल फाइंड हियर अबाउट द कांग्रेस की 28 months of Congress government. 28 months of the Congress government. Congress governments. मतलब कांग्रेस गवर्नमेंट ने 28 मंथ्स तक शासन किया, 28 महीनों तक. एंड यू फाइंड इट वाज हैविंग सम अचीवमेंट्स. अब इसका अचीवमेंट्स क्या था उसको देखिए. टू रिलीज पॉलिटिकल प्रिजनर्स, to release political prisoners. Means कि political prisoners means कि in course of civil disobedience movement actually the revolutionaries in course of civil disobedience movement, actually the agitators and the volunteers, they were arrested. So they were still languishing in jail. They had been languishing in jail. So when there was the formation of the Congress ministry in provinces, so actually now we can say in all the subjects in provinces were under the control of the elected ministers, although governor was having the veto power, but the elected ministry was having the you can say control over all the subjects. So you will just come to realize here it was the case, so that's why even the jail and prison, or you can say jail as well as the law and order, all were under the control of the elected government. So here you can say that the government started to release the political prisoners, so that is the one point of achievement. Then you are coming to the second one point. What is the second one point? So second one point of was, you can say, freedom of press. Freedom of press, but it emphasized the freedom of press. So freedom of press, you can say in this way, because it was the avowed goal of Congress, so freedom of press. Then you will come to the third one point. What is the third one point? So that is tenancy laws. टेनेंसी लॉज. टेनेंसी लॉज कहते हैं हिंदी में रेतवारी कानून. रेतवारी कानून का मतलब है किसानों की सुरक्षा के लिए लॉज बनाना. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल बंगाल टेनेंसी एक्ट यू फाइंड, then you find Bengal Tenancy Act of 1859-1885. So likewise there were you find at the Tenancy Act. So they enacted the Tenancy Act in different provinces. Our Tenancy Act, UP Agra Tenancy Act. So these were the name of the acts, you can say, in order to give protection to peasants. मतलब उन्होंने रैयतवारी कानून पारित किया, उसके माध्यम से किसानों को सुरक्षा दी, प्रेस की आजादी की बात की, राजनीतिक कैदियों की रिहाई की, और एक आपने देखा होगा एक वर्धा एजुकेशन प्लान. एजुकेशन के फ्रंट पर कुछ किया. एक्चुअली there was the formation of a Zakir Hussain Committee on Education, and this committee assimilated the ideas of Gandhi on the front of education. There should be the you can say study and work, both should be combined together in Vardha education system. So they just tried to introduce the Vardha education system based on the ideas of Gandhi, but unfortunately due to the decline of due to you can say resignation of the government after 28 months, this plan could not be enacted. तो उन्होंने एक वर्धा शिक्षा योजना लाई थी जो गांधी जी के विचारों पर, जाकिर हुसैन कमेटी की अनुशंसा पर थी और गांधी जी के विचारों पर थी, परंतु 28 महीनों के बाद सरकार गिर गई तो ये योजना लागू नहीं हो पाई. तो चलिए ये सब कुछ अचीवमेंट था. अब now question arises कि what happened actually. Earlier the government were apprehensive about the behavior of the governors. The governors had to make undue intervention in the government and undue interference in the government. So what is the actual situation and actual reaction of governors? So from the side of governor or bureaucracy, the government did not have any major problem. मतलब all was okay. Governors didn't make any undue interference. What problem?
लेफ्ट में लिखा उसको राइट में.
अच्छा अच्छा. Yes. So governors didn't make any undue interference. At one and two occasions, governors tried to veto the issue of the release of prisoners. And at that time, some Congress ministry like Sri Krishna Singh was the prime minister. At that time, there was not the name chief minister. The head of the state government was called prime minister. So Sri Krishna Singh in Bihar and Govind Vallabh Pant, government of Govind Vallabh Pant in UP, United Province. So they resigned as a reaction to the interference to the governor. So issue was brought suddenly to the attention of Viceroy, and Viceroy took the action, and Viceroy just mediated between the two, and finally you can say governor had to withdraw the veto and the governments withdrew their resignation. मतलब देखो गवर्नर की तरफ से कोई समस्या नहीं आई ज्यादा. जब इन्होंने राजनीतिक कैदियों की रिहाई जब एकदम मैसिवली बड़े पैमाने पर करने लगे और गांव में उत्साह होने लगा। गांव में तो काफी उत्साह था, पहली बार इलेक्टेड गवर्नमेंट आई थी। मतलब गांव में किसानों के बारे में कहा जाता है कि वो इतने उत्साह में थे कि सचिवालय आते थे और आके वो मिनिस्ट्री में घूमते थे, चेयर को टच करके देखते थे कि ये हमारा गवर्नमेंट है। मतलब उनके लिए इट वॉज ए मैटर ऑफ ग्लोरी फॉर देम कि वी हैव फॉर्म्ड आवर गवर्नमेंट। कुछ तो इतनी इंथुजियास्टिक थे कि उनको लगा कि अब डरने की कोई जरूरत नहीं, अब सब कुछ अपना है। उनका कहना था कि अब सब कुछ अपना है, गवर्नमेंट अपना है, सब कुछ अपना है। इट वॉज द इंथुसियाज्म ऑफ द कॉमन पीपल अबाउट द गवर्नमेंट, यू कैन से। बट ड्यूरिंग दिस पीरियड मुस्लिम लीग brought a lot of created a lot of difficulties, and Muslim League brought undue charge against the Congress governments कि Congress have consciously the Congress has consciously promoted the Devanagari script and discouraged the Persian script, and the Congress has consciously banned cow slaughter, which was running against the Muslims' interest. So there was the, you can say, Pirpur report. There was a Pirpur report was prepared by the Muslim League, some Muslim leader. Then the Sharif report in Bihar. So this was also, this report was charging the Congress against the discrimination against the Muslims. Then you can say Muhammad Ali was a Muslim leader of Muslim League. So he wrote a book. The name was the Muslim Sufferings Under the Congress Rule. तो मतलब मुस्लिम लीग ने बड़ी परेशानी पैदा की। उसने कांग्रेस की सरकार पर बहुत चार्जेस लगाए, क्योंकि तो वैसे भी खाली बैठी थी। आप तो जानते हो खाली मन शैतान का घर, तो उसके दिमाग में बहुत सारे खुरापात चलते थे। वो तरह तरह के चार्जेस कांग्रेस पर लाती थी कि इन्होंने देवनागरी स्क्रिप्ट को बढ़ाया, फारसी लिपि को स्क्रिप्ट को डिस्करेज किया, गोरक्षा की बात करके और गो हत्या पर पाबंदी लगाई, तो मुस्लिमों के हितों को खतरा पहुंचाया। बहुत तरह की बातें की, कई रिपोर्ट तैयार किए, पीरपुर रिपोर्ट, शरीफ रिपोर्ट, मोहम्मद अली का मुस्लिम सफरिंग्स अंडर कांग्रेस रूल। तो यही हुआ। खैर, anyhow, for 28 months, these governments could work very efficiently, undoubtedly. But my friends, now the situation came. And the worst situation came, I am changing the paragraph so that it will be visible to you. Now just after the diagram I am making you clear, now a situation changed and there was outbreak of the Second World War. Outbreak of the Second World War. That is known, Second World War in 1939. This war started actually on 1st September 1939. On 1st September 1939, German army just invaded Poland. So in reply, as a counter attack, the Britain and France declared war against Germany on 3rd September. So properly the Second World War started. Once the Second World War started, the British, without consulting any important Indian party, without consulting Congress or any nationalist party, and then the British government and the government of this one Lilithgo, it declared India to be a belligerent nation in the Second World War on behalf of the Allied powers, means Britain and France, or on the behalf of Britain. So it was the time Congress was utterly shocked. Congress was utterly shocked, and Gandhi once again became active, because since the last 1934 to 1939, I have told you, Gandhi was busy in village reconstruction program, but Gandhi now became too much active, and Gandhi gave his famous slogan, "Na ek pai, na ek bhai." Na ek pai, na ek bhai. This time I will not give you a single penny and not a single soldier from India, because during the First World War you have cheated us. I have given you extended support, but what have you done? You have given us in reward Rowlatt Act. This time we are not going to extend any support to you people. Keep in your mind, we will give you the conditional support. You have to fulfill 2 requirements. So Congress reaction, you can say. Congress reaction. You have to fulfill 2 conditions. Firstly, form the responsible government in the center. accountable government. And secondly, you have to give the promise that just after the war, there will be the formation of a constituent assembly and Indians will make their own constitution. You will fulfill the two conditions and place the defense of India under the responsible government. We will be accountable for the defense of India. We are not going to leave the question of the defense of India into your hand solely, and only then we can mobilize the support for you. The government did not make any response to Congress demand. So then Congress Ala Kaman just advised the Congress ministry in provinces to resign from the post. So up to the October last, all the Congress ministry resigned. You can see all the Congress ministry resigned. But my students, here I have to discuss. I have to give you the information. Ki in 2015, Shashi Tharoor has written a text. You can say that is the name of the text is on history, an era of darkness. An era of darkness under the British rule. In outside of India, the book has been published in the name of Inglorious Empire, but Shashi Tharoor has actually he has had there a discussion on that is on a platform that is called the Oxford discussion, and there he brought a lot of charge against the British, and later he published the book An Era of Darkness. So in this book, for the first time, Shashi Tharoor had mentioned that actually Congress here done a tactical mistake through resigning from the ministries and provinces. The Congress actually created a political vacuum after resigning, and this vacuum was filled up by Muslim League. So Congress should have fought against the government, but the Congress should not have resigned from the post. तो शशि थरूर ने एक नई बात कही कि भाई कांग्रेस को रिजाइन नहीं करना चाहिए था। एनीवे पॉइंट ये है कि 3 सितंबर को सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर द्वितीय विश्व युद्ध शुरू हो गया। पहले तो पोलैंड पर जर्मनी ने हमला किया, फिर ब्रिटेन और फ्रांस ने जर्मनी पर हमला किया, तो सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर स्टार्ट हो गया, द्वितीय विश्व युद्ध। और फिर ब्रिटिश ने भारत से बिना पूछे हुए किसी पार्टी से कंसल्ट किए हुए इसको युद्धरत राष्ट्र घोषित कर दिया, ए बेलिजेरेंट नेशन। इस पर अब गांधी जी एक्टिव हो गए। वो तो 34 से थे, विशेष रूप से हरिजन अपलिफ्टमेंट प्रोग्राम में आप देखें। हालांकि फिर भी कांग्रेस सेशन में तो आते ही थे फिर भी, लेकिन अब वो पूरी तरह से प्लेटफॉर्म पर आ गए और नारा दिया, नायक पाई नायक भाई, हम इस बार आपको पहले की तरह नहीं सपोर्ट करेंगे, क्योंकि फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर में आपने हमारे साथ धोखा किया है, आपको हमने बिना शर्त समर्थन दिया, आपने हमको रॉलेट एक्ट दिया। अब पहले आप शर्त तय करिए, तभी हम इस वॉर में आपके साथ आएंगे, और 2 कंडीशन को फुलफिल करिए। एक तो सेंटर में आप एक उत्तरदायी सरकार, रिस्पॉन्सिबल गवर्नमेंट बनाइए, और भारत का डिफेंस जो रक्षा है उस गवर्नमेंट के हाथ में दीजिए, और युद्ध के बाद आप वादा करिए कि आप एक संविधान सभा पूरी तरह से भारतीयों के द्वारा निर्मित बनाएंगे। सरकार ने इस पर कोई रिस्पॉन्स नहीं किया, तो अक्टूबर इन अक्टूबर लास्ट तक, October end, all Congress ministry resigned, और कांग्रेस मिनिस्ट्री रिजाइंड। अब इसके बाद 1939 में हम लोग पहुंच गए। अब इसके बाद आगे देखेंगे, आपका नेशनलिज्म ओवर हुआ, लेकिन कम्युनलिज्म अभी बचा हुआ है, क्योंकि 2 करंट आप देखते हो, 1 करंट नेशनलिज्म, अनदर करंट कम्युनलिज्म। सो नाउ इन द लास्ट वी हैव टू ऑब्जर्व कम्युनलिज्म। अब ये हम लोगों ने कवर कर लिया कांग्रेस मिनिस्ट्री एंड इट्स अचीवमेंट्स। ये सब कुछ आपका हमने दिया हुआ है। लेफ्ट विंग राइट विंग डिफरेंसेस एकदम क्लियर है, आप पढ़े होगे तो क्लियर हो जाएगा, क्लास में सुनने के बाद फिर पढ़ोगे तो याद हो जाएगा आपको, यू जस्ट रिकॉल देम। रिजिग्नेशन ऑफ कांग्रेस गवर्नमेंट्स ओवर। अब नाउ ग्रोइंग इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ सोशलिज्म लेफ्टिज्म इन इंडियन नेशनल मूवमेंट। अच्छा, ये तो हम पहले ही कर चुके हैं, अब लास्ट में आते हैं। अवेयरनेस अमंग वुमेन, राइज ऑफ कम्युनलिज्म। यहां पर देखो, अब देखो राइज ऑफ कम्युनलिज्म में हमने 2 ही बातें आपको बताई है। आपको मैंने जो डायग्राम दिया है उसमें 2 ही बातें। rise of communalism. अब राइज ऑफ कम्युनलिज्म में एक है प्रोग्रेस ऑफ सोशलिज्म एंड लेफ्टिज्म created concern for Muslim zamindars. माने Muslim landlords. My students, actually Muslim League was basically a party of zamindars. You can say, in Muslim community at that time, there was not the proper emergence of the middle class due to the lack of lack of the sufficient spread of education. So it was the Hindu zamindars who got the education. So they were two in one. They were basically zamindars. They were educated as well, from Sir Syed Ahmad Khan to Mohsin ul Mulk and even Jinnah. So basically Jinnah was not properly zamindars, but out different were the zamindars, you can say. So basically they were the landholders. So actually when there was the progress of socialism and communism, so landholders elements in Muslim League, so they were slightly terrified. They came to believe that if the society will be divided on economic lines, so the rich Hindus and rich Muslims one side and poor Hindus and poor Muslims other side, so that will create actually we will become the most minority, because the handful of the rich people will be threatened due to the aggressive policy of the poor people. So better to create cleavage in society on religious line. This society should not be allowed to be divided on economic lines, so better to divide them on communal line, so that the Hindus in one side and Muslims in other side. So the attention of the, you can say, the attention of the whole movement would be diverted from the course of socialism and leftism and move to communalism. उनकी साजिश ये थी, क्योंकि वो चाहते थे कि अगर कहीं आर्थिक मुद्दे पर विभाजन हो गया, तो जो धनी मुसलमान, धनी हिंदू एक तरफ होंगे, और जो पुअर मुसलमान और जो पुअर हिंदू हैं वो दूसरी तरफ होंगे. तो ऐसा करते हैं, उनको हम कॉम्युनल लाइन पर डिवाइड कर देते हैं, सांप्रदायिक आधार पर विभाजित कर देते हैं, ताकि आर्थिक आधार पर विभाजन रुक जाए. तो ये वजह है. सेकेंड वन, फेलियर ऑफ कम्युनल पार्टीज. फेलियर ऑफ कम्युनल पार्टीज in elections of 1930s. Sorry, in the elections of 1937. Here you will come to know that Muslim League received a major setback in the elections, So when the Muslim League received a major setback in elections, so now Muslim League started to make a self-introspection. What is the reason behind our failure in the elections? So Muslim League came to realize that it was lacking a clear-cut program. It was having a dearth of a clear-cut program on which they could have mobilized the Muslims, because Muslim League was having the bitter realization that it was still a party of the Muslim elites, not the Muslim masses. It better preferred to bring such a program on which the Muslim League could have gathered the common masses. So it changed its strategy just after the elections of 1937. So Jinnah first of all decided to bring a very radical communal program on which he could have attracted the common Muslim masses. So my students, later I will inform you in the next one phase. In 1940, in Lahore proposal, Jinnah introduced the proposal of separate Muslim state or states. Separate Muslim states. So at that time, the name Pakistan was avoided. There was not the use of the name Pakistan. I will discuss with you later. But they have used the term separate state. And then the Muslim League just provoked the Muslim leader, the leaders of the league, कि better to make a contact with the Qazi and ulema and orthodox Muslim elements, and they started to give the slogan later कि लड़कर लेंगे Pakistan. We have to take Pakistan through fighting. So that's why you can say कि Jinnah just changed his strategy. He even formed the provincial committees. Even the membership fee of Muslim League was reduced so that कि Muslim League could have been converted into the party of the masses. मतलब मैं जिन्ना के बारे में आपको बताना चाहता कि जब 1937 के चुनाव में जब इनको झटका लगा तब जिन्ना ने रियलाइज करना शुरू किया कि आखिर प्रॉब्लम कहाँ आ गई, क्यों हम इसमें फेल कर गए. तो उनको रियलाइजेशन हुआ कि देखो मुस्लिम लीग अभी भी कुलीनों की पार्टी है, एलिट क्लास की पार्टी है, कॉमन पीपल को हम नहीं जोड़ पाए. उसने सोचा कि भाई अब हमें एक ऐसा प्रोग्राम चाहिए जिस पर हम कॉमन पीपल को जोड़ सके. तो उसने तो जिन्ना ने 1940 के लाहौर प्रपोजल में पहली बार पृथक मुस्लिम प्रांत, सेपरेट मुस्लिम स्टेट का प्रपोजल लाया. और फिर उन्होंने मुस्लिम लीग के नेताओं को उकसाया. हालांकि जिन्ना तो अपने व्यक्तिगत कन्विक्शन में एक सेकुलर ही टेम्परामेंट के थे, लेकिन नेताओं को उन्होंने मतलब प्रोवोक किया कि आप लोग जाइए और जाकर उलेमाओं से कांटेक्ट करिए और उलेमा वगैरह से कांटेक्ट करके और तब कोशिश करिए कि जितने कॉमन मासेस को आप जोड़ सकें इस चुनाव में, मतलब इस हमारे पार्टी से. और तब उन्होंने लड़कर लेंगे पाकिस्तान का नारा भी आगे देना शुरू किया. तो इन्होंने अपनी रणनीति चेंज कर दी. ये तो हुआ मुस्लिम लीग की. लेकिन उधर दूसरी तरफ हिंदू वाली पार्टी भी थी. तो सेकेंड वन यू कैन से कि एज व्हाट हैपेंड इन केस ऑफ मुस्लिम लीग ऑलमोस्ट सेम हैपेंड इन केस ऑफ हिंदू महासभा. इवन द वर्स्ट परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ हिंदू महासभा. Madan Mohan Malviya was at that time the president of Hindu Mahasabha. So this party fared, performed in the election in the elections so poorly, even more poorly than the league, because after all in the league you can say it was a party, single-owned party. It was not having any major contestant among the Muslims, but among the common Indians and particularly the Hindus were more attracted towards the Congress. So Hindu Mahasabha was almost, you can say, it was not enjoying the, you can say, proper mandate of the people. So finally it performed very poorly. So after that in 1938 you can say it was B.D. Savarkar. I have told you the whole story about B.D. Savarkar. B.D. Savarkar was earlier the revolutionary, then he was arrested, he was in Andaman jail, then he sought the mercy, he just gave the mercy petition to the government. Later he was transferred there to India. He remained in jail of the Ratnagiri sometime, even you can say then in Bombay, in the jail there. And then finally you can say he was released, and 1924 to 1937 he was under the, you can say, house, in some sort of house arrest in Ratnagiri itself. And then finally you can say he was released in 1937 finally by Nilethu's government after some promise and written promise he gave कि we will not do any sort of take the action against the government in future. So finally he was released, and in 1938 he became the president of Hindu Mahasabha. So B.D. Savarkar was hardliner, you can say. And what was the specific ideology of B.D. Savarkar, I will discuss with you later. So V.D. Savarkar activated Hindu Mahasabha further. In the meantime, Dr. Hegrewar was the head of the RSS. He was the founder of RSS. I have told you, Balaram Hegrewar. But Balaram Hegrewar, he possibly died in 1935 or 36. So after his death, there was the new Sangh Sanchalak of RSS he was M.S. Golwalkar. So M.S. Golwalkar was the hardliner then, Balaram Hegrewar. So now a new era started according to Bipin Chandra. Jinnah in second phase became more radical communalist. Then B.D. Savarkar is more aggressive than Madan Mohan Malviya, and M.S. Golwalkar was more aggressive than Balaram Hegrewar. So now a new phase, communalism entered into a new phase. So in one sense, my students, later I will give you a question. The elections of 1937 proved a landmark or the elections of 1937 just encourage the you can say just encourage the you can say encourage the communal politics in India. Comment. So how did this elections of 1937 encourage the communal politics in India? But my work is over today, but I have to pose some question to you people कि कुछ एक कल के लिए मैं कुछ डालना चाहता हूँ, एक क्वेश्चन आपको लिखने का। हाँ, हिंदी में मैंने नहीं कहा, हो सकता है मेरे स्टूडेंट को दिक्कत हो गई। मैंने आपको बताया कि जैसे मुस्लिम लीग की रणनीति रही तो उधर हिंदू महासभा का तो और बुरा परफॉर्मेंस हुआ, क्योंकि वहाँ तो कांग्रेस मेन पार्टी हिंदुओं में थी, तो उनका परफॉर्मेंस बहुत बुरा हुआ। और मदन मोहन मालवीय अध्यक्ष थे, तो उनको अब इलेक्शन से इतना असंतुष्ट हुए कि स्वास्थ्य के आधार पर उन्होंने रिजाइन किया अध्यक्ष पद से, लेकिन उन्होंने रिजाइन कर दिया हिंदू महासभा। तो मैंने बीडी सावरकर के बारे में बताया है कि कैसे वो पहले अंडमान निकोबार जेल में थे, फिर मर्सी पिटीशन दिया, फिर उनको रत्नागिरी ट्रांसफर किया गया, फिर कुछ समय तक नजरबंद रहे 37 तक, फिर 37 में उनको लिखित को जब लिखित दिया तो उनको रिलीज किया गया, और फिर 1938 में हिंदू महासभा के वो अध्यक्ष बन गए। वो थे बड़े हार्ड लाइनर, वो मतलब मदन मोहन मालवीय तो सॉफ्ट लाइनर थे, बड़े हार्ड लाइनर थे। और फिर इधर आरएसएस के पहले अध्यक्ष थे, वो थे बलिराम हेगड़ेवार, अब बन गए बीडी सावरकर। तो बीडी सावरकर थोड़ा सा ज्यादा एग्रेसिव थे, और सॉरी ये एमएस गोलवलकर, और एमएस गोलवलकर थोड़ा एग्रेसिव थे हेगड़ेवार की तुलना में ज्यादा। अब जिन्ना सेकेंड फेज में जब आए तो बहुत बड़े रेडिकल, सावरकर जी थे वो भी रेडिकल थोड़ा सा थे, गोलवलकर भी रेडिकल थे। तो इससे कम्युनिज्म के फ्रंट पर प्रोग्रेस हो जाएगा आगे चलकर। और आप 1939 के बाद हम लोग आगे बढ़ेंगे तो आप देखिए क्या दृश्य है, सावरकर जी, गोलवलकर जी, जिन्ना, ये सब आपस में कैसे और ज्यादा कम्युनलिज्म पर कम्युनलिज्म थ्राइव करता रहा, और ये इंडिया के लिए दुर्भाग्यजनक रहा। तो हमने स्वतंत्रता भी पाई और अंत में विभाजन भी पाई। अब मैं सोचता हूँ ये क्वेश्चन तुम लोगों को डाल देता कल के लिए होमवर्क के लिए, कौन सा क्वेश्चन डालूं, क्योंकि एक दो क्वेश्चन तो है पीछे का, लेकिन वो आपके लिए बड़ा हेवी हो जाएगा, वो मैं ही कर दूंगा। देखो कल या परसों तक जब भी होता है। टुडे आई हैव टू गिव यू a question. यही मैं देता हूं, इलेक्शंस ऑफ 1937, elections of 1937 gave a boost to communal politics in India. Communal politics in India. एग्जामिन, मतलब 1937 के चुनावों ने भारत में सांप्रदायिक राजनीति को बूस्ट किया, उन्हें बढ़ावा दिया। इस कथन का परीक्षण कीजिए, दैट इज द क्वेश्चन। यू पीपल विल ट्राई। मिस्टर अंकुर आस्क माय स्टूडेंट्स नाउ कि विल दे आंसर माय क्वेश्चन? Be fast, my student, at least, because Ankur is the bridge between us. Or you can say new Sanjay, I have just told you. So you people have to be fast. Will you answer my question? Will you try the question? So my students, now session is over today. I'll see you tomorrow from after 1939 onwards. I have already sent you the study material. So you will just go through 1939 to 45, not all the complete. 45 to 47, I'll just take this class the day after tomorrow.
Word limit?
150 words. 150 words. 150 words.
This professor please explain the role of princely Indian movement.
I will discuss at that time. Ashish, I will discuss this aspect, the role of princely estates next time. Actually, either whenever I will just teach you the integration of princely estates, there I will discuss. Ashish, I have just taken in my mind. So please have patience. In post-independence era, I have to deal with a topic, the integration of princely estates. There I will discuss the role of princely estates in national movement of India. Okay, Thank you very much, my friends. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.